With a market cap over $411 billion, Johnson & Johnson is one of the largest healthcare corporations in the world. The company operates through pharmaceuticals, medical devices, and consumer health. The company recently reported first quarter 2023 revenue of $24.7 billion. This was a 5.6% year-over-year increase, surpassing expectations. And the adjusted earnings per share of $2.68 also exceeded expectations. For the cherry on top, the company raised both its sales and earnings outlook for fiscal year 2023. Oh, and don't forget, the dividend also got a boost, seeing a 5.3% increase to $1.19 per share, and this payout currently yields just over 3%. And we're now looking at a 20-year monthly chart on Johnson & Johnson, and in the upper left you can see that the symbol is JNJ. For disclosure purposes, I do not hold any shares of JNJ at this time. Now, this is a chart that you want to look at least from say 2009 all the way to the current time frame. Looking here, you can see that there's been a nice upward move all the way up, even into the current level here. The close on Monday was 156.87, but you can see this stair step all the way up here. The current step at that point there is roughly equal to the top step there in 2020. So I think that the next move, once it bottoms and base, is going to be on up. Now into the oscillators, first looking at volume. Volume looks fine, pretty even all the way through. Looks good to me. Into the MACD, you can see that both the fast line and the slow line are heading on down. Fast line in black, slow line in red. There is a decent separation between the two, but as you can see in the past, turns, changes do happen relatively quickly, and I expect the same for JNJ. So it's still above the zero line, still has strength, but let that close before you take a dip in. Now, you could average in if you wanted to. That would be a good idea as well. Here into the histogram, you can see that level here is a negative 2.637, so there is some negativity, but I would imagine we're going to bottom and base here within the next few months, so keep a close eye on that. Into the price rate of change, sawtoothing on the way down. We may have another or two before it does bottom and base, but once again, I think it's going to happen quickly given how well the performance was in the first quarter of 2023. Here, the RSI, it's at a moderate weak 41.40. You can see maybe the early stages of bottoming and basing here, but it didn't get too negative. Not as negative as it was in 2018 or even 2009. Of course, a little bit more negative than 2020, but I think this is the sort of pattern you want to see in a stock like this. This is a blue chip stock, so the volatility is going to be pretty close to those midlines, and it does look like the early stages of bottoming and basing. Once again, here into stochastics, we've come all the way down here. Comparing to the history, again, not that bad. Similar to 2018, of course, perhaps a little worse than 2019, 2020, but again, I don't see that as a problem. Go back here to 2006, it was worse. 2009, it was consistent with that. So in my humble opinion, this compares with a lot of these downturns, and these downturns didn't take very long before they bottomed, based, and headed on up. Into the Williams, pretty much the same thing. I think we might have seen the maximum negativity there in early 2023. We have a sawtooth down to here, but I would imagine that this is going to bounce right on back up. Again, the Williams being one of the first oscillators to move, so watch that, and if it moves on up, that could be the sign of conditions improving. Moving back to the price chart, one last look. The stair stepping, and given this bottom step here, looks very good to me with that overall move on the way up. So conduct your due diligence because the risk is all yours. ChewDog out.